Well, hello there. This is Debut Buddies. It's a fortnightly podcast about firsts. I'm Nate Regolia, and I'm one of the buddies.
Hi, I'm Kelly Attaway, and I'm another buddy.
I'm Chelsea Hollander, and I'm your last buddy.
The last buddy you'll ever need, listeners. And this week, we're going to talk about the first fairy tale, because this podcast makes all your wishes come true.
Okay. For a minute, I was like, I can't tell if we're doing NPR or like old-timey nighttime radio call-in show. But now I see we're doing call-in show. Got it. Okay.
It got to be a little bit, it was a little NPR, a little Love Line. It got a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
The point is, I wanted to try something new with the opener, and clearly it landed. We got 10 from the German judge. We got 10 from the Russian judge.
Man, did not expect perfect tens, but across the board.
You know, I mean, you take big swings and you get big rewards.
Yep. That's what they say.
That's how stuff works. So we're going to talk about the first fairy tale, which is actually multiple fairy tales, I think. Because fairy tales, guess what, everybody? They're pretty old. They date back to like 6,000 years ago, and probably even before that, because guess what? People have been talking around fires forever.
Mm-hmm.
You might be thinking of the blind bard, Homer, or the not blind bard, William Shakespeare.
Yeah, William Shakespeare, notable author of fairy tales.
I mean,
I guess maybe Midsummer could be one.
And The Tempest.
Yeah. Okay, I take it back. Wouldn't it be crazy if I took a Shakespeare seminar in college? Wouldn't it be crazy if that professor was listening and he like wrote me an email like, Kelly, what did you learn? What did you learn? I taught you so hard. You learned nothing.
In fairness, I assume your professor has a Google alert set up for your name and Shakespeare.
Oh, yeah.
So when this comes up, when the search terms after I enter the podcast come up, they're gonna have to listen.
I do think he maybe passed away. R.I.P.
Even cooler if he manages to send you an email. If you are an extra planar being who has beef with us about what we say on the show, email us, debutbuddies@gmail.com.
Yep.
Send us your ghost messages. We promise not to ghost you if you reach out to us.
Well, unless you're a creep.
Well, yeah, if you're a creep, we're totally ghosting you. But if you're a ghost who's not a creep,
then
we're not going to ghost you. Yeah, we're here to hang out. We'll do a nice, slow, soft, low intoned episode for you about ghosts at some point. Figure out what the first ghost is, if that's a thing.
Ooh.
Right?
I like how we're like, I guess we're changing the episode.
Write that down.
Someone keep better records than me. The first fairy tale that I read, I don't know what everybody did, because we're coming into this blind, listener. So I literally am even more unprepared than normal for this episode. I read a fairy tale titled The Smith and the Devil, that there's a BBC article that proclaims it the oldest fairy tale of all time at 6,000 plus years old, with roots in ancient,
from the Bronze Age.
It's a Bronze Age Indo-European fairy tale.
Yeah, and they were able to trace it back to like Proto-Indo-European language, which is like the earliest that we trace language back to.
Oh man, that was my only fun fact.
Oh, sorry,
Kelly.
All right, well, that's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm
going to be very quiet on this one.
Kelly wins this episode.
Yep, that's me. That's you can win podcasts, and I have.
It's Conan, and then Kelly, and then everybody else.
Get fucked, Mark Maron.
Aw. What the fuck? The Smith and the Devil. Yeah, you see what I did there. The Smith and the Devil is a weird story.
Yeah, which one? Because there are a lot of different versions.
I read a version that came from mftd.org.
That might be the one that I read. read as well.
And it's got a great like woodcut of a smith hanging out with the devil in there. And it is written in kind of present day English, though there's some kind of anachronistic language in there that's a little weird. The story itself is cuckoo bananas, though. You got a smith. He
got a devil.
He smiths stuff. You got a devil. He makes it. The story begins. He has made a deal with the devil already to be the best smith of all the smiths. He's like Morrissey out there. He's Johnny Marr smithing it up.
Which, like, I don't know. That's crazy. You jump into a story and they're like, yeah. We've made a deal with the devil. But get this. Like, we're jumping in. Like, that happens off screen. So what is about to pop off that the deal with the devil happened off screen?
So did we start at the beginning of a sequel?
Yeah, kind of. It feels that
Basically.
way, right? Which, I mean, in fairness, so like Faust, the story Faust has a lot of connections to this with the whole idea of making a deal with the devil to do something transcendent, and the exchange being like, hey, you're going to be amazing, but you also give up the most important thing. In this, the smith wants to be the best smith ever. He gets to be the best smith ever for 7 years, and then the devil's going to show up and be like, hey, buddy, you're coming with me. We're going to H-Town, Hartford, Connecticut.
I hear it's lovely there in the fall.
Oh, I bet it's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, they had the best hockey team name ever, the Whalers. Though whaling itself is a practice I don't approve of, but the idea of a team of whales, pretty cool.
Oh my God. I thought you meant like wailing, like crying.
That is
I was
also
like-
what I
like-
thought. And I was like, that is
That's sad.
a lot.
Like Bob Marley and the Whalers.
Oh, is
Yeah,
that
that makes
them?
more sense.
They wail?
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like they wail on guitars though, right?
Well, yeah, you can wail on
Wow.
guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was just
Somebody
imagining like
can.
a stadium full of keening women, I guess. What I was imagining.
Like the end of Midsommar.
Yeah.
Just wailing.
That's precisely what I was imagining. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Everybody, hey, look, I mean, I think all of us in our quiet time probably think about Florence Pugh and there's just a room of people screaming in
Yeah.
harmony.
I think that would be good for me.
Yeah.
What's going on in my head all the time?
Welcome to capitalism.
Yeah.
Chelsea's also our blondest buddy, so it makes sense that
That's true.
she would be enjoying Swedish occult folk singing.
Mhm.
So this deal with the devil's already been made, and the smith is just like kicking ass and taking names, and then one day the Lord, who I presume to be actually God, shows up and he's like, hey, what's up? You're a smith, huh? That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do this? The Lord bets him that he can smith as well as the best smith ever. And he's
Yeah.
like, bet, let's try this. So let's shoe a horse. And so the smith shoes a horse, and then the Lord is like, no, this is stupid. And he just pulls the leg off the horse and does the whole leg in the fire and makes a new leg with the shoe on it and puts it on the horse.
When I read it, I was like, it says that in the text with like no fanfare. It's not like
Mhm.
he pulled up the leg and then everybody was like, what the fuck? No, it's like he pulled up the leg and he put it in the fire and then he did these actions and then he put it back on. And I was like, okay, so we call horseshoes legs.
That's what I thought too. I
in
was
the
like, is
1900s,
this
like
just...
when this was committed to text, like this is just like a euphemism, I guess. No.
Yeah. Yeah, because it says the Lord took one leg off the horse and laid it in the furnace and made the shoe red hot. After that, he turned up the ends of the shoe, filed down the heads of the nails, clenched the points, and then put back the leg safe and sound on the horse again. And yeah, in the context of this, you're like, there's no way that he's removed the leg and then put the leg back. But that is in fact what is happening.
Do you think it was like bloody and gross, or just like pop sockets or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like
Do you think it
Barbies.
had that? Yeah. Do you think it had that audible noise whenever like
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
she
We all
pop
love
it back
taking
in, pop it
apart,
back out, and you're
pulling
like, yeah,
the
that's
limbs
fine.
off of our toys when we were kids, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Got to. Gotta
We're
see
not
what's in there.
weirdos. So
Oh.
the Lord takes this horse apart, piece by piece, replaces all the things, and the smith's like, huh, you're a pretty good smith. The smith is also not concerned about this at all. Does not have a moment of like, wait a minute, horses don't usually disassemble this easily.
No, he's just like, okay, pretty good. Pretty good. Like, funnier than I
I
expected.
just
it
had
to
a
be.
weird thought
Yeah.
about putting stuff back, and because I was thinking of dolls, but I was like, what if you put human arms and human legs in place of the horse arms and horse legs?
How do you think God invented the centaur?
That's the opposite.
But it's the same
Wait.
principle.
You just have leftover parts, right? So you'd have like a centaur and you'd have a bunch of horse legs, and then you'd be like, well, I guess we want to put these horse legs on some people. Because
Yeah.
I don't want all these parts. Look, they're just laying around. It's like it's unused inventory. You can't sell them. What are you going to sell a horse leg by itself? No, you need to attach it to a human or a horse.
That's fair. It's got to stay alive, right?
I mean, you could probably make a pretty penny selling a horse leg, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. You could cook it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you're practicing smithing,
Oh.
you need the whole
a
leg.
practice leg.
Practice. Yeah.
Oh, it's like cosmetology school. It's just you get a leg instead of
Just get a
one of those
leg.
makeup faces.
Or for doctors,
Mm.
cadavers.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, we're back to the operating theater principle of like, there's just a bunch of blacksmiths sitting around while
No.
somebody's just like, yep. So I'm going to take this horse apart. I'm going to put some shoes on it, put the horse back together.
Put the horse back together.
So yeah, so the smith is not concerned. Smith's just like, huh, so you are a pretty good smith. That's wild, but since I am the best smith of all the smiths, surely I can do the thing you just did.
Mm-hmm.
And so he goes out and he takes a horse apart.
All legs.
And he just starts cutting and hacking at the horse's legs. He does not, there's no pop socket Barbie doll situation here. We are told the smith is just like, there's just got to be like a comedic, like, splash of blood and viscera and bone shards everywhere as he's just like, yeah, nope, this is exactly what I just saw, so it's clearly working.
I didn't even imagine it being bloody. I just imagined like a legless horse like sitting patiently outside the smithy, just like you know how cats go like loaf mode.
Yeah.
I was basically imagining a horse in loaf mode, but obviously no legs. So just like sitting there, just like waiting.
Oh, that's pleasant. That's a pleasant.
Yeah.
It is a lot cuter than what I
Your
visualized.
thing, yeah.
It seems like Gallagher. Did you picture the Smith? Like Gallagher?
Aw, yeah. R.I.P. Gallagher, right? But
Oh,
also
that's right.
get everybody a tarp or something when you
That
start
too.
doing this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of rude. No one knows what's going on. So he cuts all these legs off. He cuts off the one leg, and then they have the note. And for he said, I don't know why one should go pottering backwards and forwards, first with one leg and then with the other. And so he cuts all the other legs off. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to walk back and forth and do one leg at a time. I'm not an idiot. I'm the best smith who's ever existed. So I'm going to cut off all four legs at once. And then he throws the legs in the fire.
Genius.
Lazy man's load. That's what they call that. It's like when you try to carry all your groceries at once.
Oh.
So he takes this lazy man's load of horse legs and throws them in the furnace. And he's like, well, hey, great. I'm as good as God. And and wouldn't you know it, all those legs just go up in flames.
I'm shocked.
And the smith's like, well, shrug, I guess I got to pay for that horse because I've killed it, even though clearly you killed it before. But I like that we waited until the legs burnt through to ash.
Well, I guess it was like, well, I mean, let's see what happens, right? Like we saw it work last time. So let's hear the man out.
Sometimes, hey, miracles sometimes take a little while to set in, you know?
Yeah, just a second.
So we up the ante. We go from horse to the next progression in the hierarchy of living things, old lady.
Old lady.
Yeah.
And so the smith says, you're so old and you don't know what is good for you. Now you shall be a lovely young maiden in no time.
The Lord did one first, though. The Lord
Oh,
dug
the Lord
a
did
lady,
do one first. No, you're right. I screwed
and
this
she
up.
turns out young and pretty and beautiful.
Yes.
And then, yeah, once again, the smith is like, let me take a crack at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've established that God's ability in this story is that he can smith an old lady into a young lady by throwing her in the fire.
Well, that's the only way she'll have value.
Look, I don't write the rules, guys.
Is he also a plastic surgeon? Is a Smith all encompassing?
Oh, yeah. Is it like a medieval
yeah.
barber where it's just like, yeah, I kind of do everything. Yeah. It's like, I'm going to bleed you. I'm going to put leeches on you. I'm going to give you a rhinoplasty. I got a hammer. You got a nose. I'm sure something could happen here.
Yeah. And then he just browbeats this woman, like, get in the fire.
Yeah. So he's like, hey, you're ugly and pathetic. And so I'm just going to.
Here's what I was imagining, that she's like 35 is what I was imagining.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people live to roughly 36 at story time. So, yeah. Yeah. So someone younger than all of us, or at least younger than me.
Not quite, Nate.
Younger than me. I apologize for speaking.
We're still babies.
Speaking out of turn.
The ripe young spring chicken here at 34.
Hell yeah. I was 34 once.
Got one more year till the smith tosses me into the flames.
I'll hope it's the Lord.
So yeah, you gotta hope. Yeah. You gotta hope it's the Lord who throws you into the flames. Yeah, it feels like a Pentecost sort of thing to say. But yeah, so the smith throws this poor old woman into the flames, and guess what? She burns up too, just like some horse legs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But there's nobody to pay for the old lady. He had to pay someone for the horse, but there is no compensation for the murder of this woman that occurs.
And doesn't he specifically? So I read a couple versions of this. In one of them, he says like, nobody'll miss her.
Yeah, yeah. He says, oh, for that matter, there's not many who will ask after her.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a good way to set up society, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He does take that opportunity to blame the devil and be like, look, if he thinks this is the deal we made, that I'm supposed to be the best smith ever, and I just kill the lady.
Right.
Like, I'm kind of pissed at him. He's immediately passing the buck. So then the Lord's like, hey, I'll give you 3 wishes. Do you want 3 wishes? And the smith's like, yeah, I want 3 wishes. I love wishes. I like being in control of stuff and having no consequences because I'm probably a white man.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
So he wishes. He says, first and foremost, I wish that anyone whom I ask to climb up into the pear tree that stands outside by the wall of my forge may stay sitting there till I ask him to come down again. Seems like a pretty dumb wish, honestly. Like, go sit in that tree until I say not to. Then he says, the second wish I wish is that anyone whom I ask to sit down in my easy chair, which stands inside the workshop yonder, may stay sitting there until I ask him to get up. And last of all, I wish that anyone whom I ask to creep into the steel purse, which I have in my pocket, may stay in it till I give him leave to creep out again.
These are very, very specific wishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some missed opportunities here, for sure.
At this point in the story, I was definitely like, what are we doing?
Yeah, they're like,
what is it that we're wishing for?
They're extremely contrived wishes.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why.
Plan.
Yeah, but it kind of like, that's why this doesn't make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we'll get to that. But so he makes those wishes, and then St. Peter, who's also been there the whole time, sorry for burying that lead. St. Peter's like, these are the wishes of a wicked man.
Okay.
You should have wished for God's grace and goodwill.
Meow.
He's not wrong.
Meow. I mean, that's also only 2 wishes, or is it one specific wish and then you have 2 other wishes?
Are grace and goodwill tied together? You have to are you going to get just like all seasons of Will and Grace by mistake because it's a monkey's paw scenario?
I mean, there are worse like ways for your wish to go wrong,
especially during that time.
I'm not saying that's a bad trade. Yeah. Oh, it would be mind blowing. You're like, what are these people wearing? And how is TV? I'm some sort of wizard now.
Or you just get the DVDs with like no mechanism to play them.
Throw them in the
Like,
fire.
are these plates? Like, what is this?
Just shoeing them onto a horse. They're shiny. And I think they're horseshoes.
I guess this is right.
But the smith's like, oh, I don't. He says, I daren't look so high as that. So I think I'm not entirely sure that I understand what "dernst" means, but I think it's like I'm too stupid to have wished that big, or like I wasn't thinking about that. I'm thinking about like other stuff because I'm kind of a dick.
That's how I interpreted it, but you're right. I don't know what that contraction means. Let's go with the dick thing, though. That's what he is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's Durstant, so I guess has something to do with Limp Bizkit.
That's fair. Is he doing it all for the nookie or the cookie?
Oh,
wait, no, the cookie so you can stick it up your
nookie.
ass.
Yeah. I do think
Okay.
that he's wanted to be the greatest smith of all time, probably for the nookie. I don't really. I mean, he's clearly not very good at understanding horses at all. He thinks like,
Or
just pull the
women.
legs off. Yeah,
No.
that's fair.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Maybe that's what the song is based on. We should
call up Fred
Limp
Durst.
Bizkit if you
Is
want.
that our next?
If you want to be on the
guest?
podcast.
I'll tweet at him.
Yes, do it. Let's see. We'll see if he wants to come on. So anyway, then the Lord and St. Peter leave.
Yeah.
And then years go by.
Yeah.
And then the devil, half of the title of the story, finally shows up and is like, "Hey, Smith, I'm here for you, buddy. Just like the deal we made."
He's pretty chill too. I was like,
he's
the
so
devil seems
chill.
pretty chill. Like,
Yeah, like the Smith is like, hold on, I need a second. And the devil's like, cool, I'll be here.
I'll just be over here.
Yeah, the devil is like a live deliciously devil, it seems like. He's just like, yeah, you want to be a great smith? Great, okay, but you got to come with me in 7 years. Cool? Okay, cool.
Man.
And it seems very chill. It doesn't...
Yeah.
He's not like opening a hole to hell and like sucking the smith in or anything, or even making him bear the consequences of murdering a horse and a lady. Like, just like, all right, I'm here to collect the stuff that you said you had for me. So the smith's like, hey, I gotta work on this nail. I'm making a nail.
Mm-hmm.
And a really great, he doesn't actually say this, but it's sort of silly because it's like, I'm the best smith of all time. And my excuse is like, I really need to finish this nail that's going to take a while.
Well, what is he?
Because I'm so good at smithing.
It's a
He
perfect
keeps
nail.
saying it. He's like, he like describes it some way that effectively means like this metal is really hard.
Oh yeah. He does talk about how the metal is really hard. That's true. Yeah. He's got a real hard metal fetish for the rest of the story. So he tells the devil to go climb up and sit in his pear tree. He's like, hey, you know what? Instead of sitting here in my forge, go sit in my pear tree. And the devil's like, you know what? That sounds like a pretty good idea.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, cool, not weird at all.
Because the devil, I guess, is the first gift of the 12 days of Christmas. Like,
oh, the devil's in a pear tree.
Like, what's that about?
He just wants a snack. He just
That's
needs
actually,
a nice, juicy
that's pretty
snack.
smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it. You know what? I don't sit in enough
The
fruit
devil
trees.
loves snacks. Everybody
What time of
knows
year
that.
is this?
Oh, what time of year?
Yeah, what time of year? Because what if they're not ripe? What if he's just like, just go up there, man? Oh no, he says that they are. Like, have yourself a snack or eat some. Eat them.
Yeah.
But why does he have to go to the top?
Does he have to go
Because
to
of
the
the
top?
story.
Yeah. He's just like, I'm going to be hammering on this nail till 4 years are out at least. This iron is so plaguey hard.
Plaguey. That's the word I couldn't remember.
Mm,
Yeah.
Plaguey.
Because I assume plaguey is the same as like, this is so fucking hard. This metal
That's
is so
what it felt
fucking
like,
hard. So, man, it's just, what a plaguey ass bullshit day.
Plaguey ass bullshit day. Yeah. Yeah. Let's bring it back.
I'm 100% in. So he's like, go up there and rest your bones. And the devil's like, all right, cool. And he goes and sits up there. And he's just like stuck in the pear tree because of that fucking wish.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the devil starts begging and praying until he goes hoarse, till his voice was, quote, as thin as a silver penny.
I mean, this devil is already so cute. He just wants to like chomp on some pears.
Yeah.
Might as well be like, Mister, will you let me out of the tree, please?
It's like, hey, come on.
knew well enough that he was going to listen to him. So he was like, he's really chill and really nice. He's going to get into the pear tree.
Yeah, I get he's already made the deal. I just feel like if the devil is this chill and you're this clever,
Like, would you not want to keep hanging out with
and
him?
could you not like talk your way out of it? Like, I don't know, forge yourself a silver tongue and get out of there.
Yeah, or just use like one wish.
It would make sense to have either used a wish that you got from God for free for no good reason.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
to use canonical Smith powers to defeat the evil instead of just kind of being I mean, all the Smith does is use his wishes to make like legal loopholes that allow him to contractually bind the devil multiple times.
In this version.
In this version.
In this version.
Yeah. The devil begs to, is begging and begging, and the Smith's like, yeah, it's probably going to be 4 years. And so he's like, hey, you know what? How about you just don't come back for 4 more years? Instead of collecting me now, you can get out of the tree, but you have to give me 4 more years of being a great Smith. And the devil's like,
4 more
yeah.
years. 4 more years.
Oh, is this how our political system came to be?
Yeah. Chelsea, I think you hit it. I think that's what this is. I think this is where the whole concept came from.
Oh my God. And Mr. Smith goes to Washington. Okay, hold on.
The annual lady burning festival.
Oh my God.
I mean,
that's actually too accurate. So the devil's like, fine, have 4 more years. I'm getting out of here. So 4 more years pass, and the devil comes back to the Smith. And the Smith's like, man, I know you know that I had enough time to hammer the head on the nail, because the devil's like, look, you're not going to trick me with the nail thing again. I'm pretty sure you finished that nail by now, you jerk. And then the Smith's like, yeah, but I've got to sharpen the point. Yeah. I made the head of the nail, but I got to make it sharper, because otherwise I can't nail anything. And this really plaguey hard iron, bud.
Yeah, did I mention how plaguey it is?
So plaguey.
Do you think he at least like actually kept working on the nail this entire time? Same nail. Didn't get a new nail. He was like, I'm gonna just keep up with this one. Oh no. I feel like he's an upstanding gentleman. Are you sure?
I think he's entirely full of shit. I think when he sees the devil coming, I think he has
he's like, I gotta find a nail.
That nail.
Yeah, he's got like a Rube Goldberg rig of like rope and bells attached to cows and things. Yeah. And the devil starts coming. And he's like, get the nail. And then he's just like, nail. Oh, buddy. It's like squeezing sweat onto his forehead. He's just like, I've been working this nail for 4 more years. This is exhausting. So he's like, hey, I gotta work the point. Hey, why don't you just sit on my easy chair, bud? I'll finish this nail up. You have a sit. We'll load off. We'll take off after that. It'll be great. It's an easy chair. There's easy's in the name. And so the devil sits down. And then, of course, because of that stupid wish, the devil can't get up. He's like the medical alert lady.
Wow.
Yeah, does hell not have a life alert system?
Right?
Come on.
Or at least a death alert system.
Easy chair alert system.
So the devil can't get up, and he's just like he's begging, and he's very upset once again, and the Smith just keeps complaining about how the iron's too plaguey hard.
Yep.
It's too plaguey. So then finally the devil acquiesces again and gives him another 4 years.
Devil's a dork.
So then the Smith's like, yeah, okay, cool, you can get up. I'll see you in 4 more years, bud. Take off. Hit the road, Jack.
Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. That doesn't happen.
Or come back in 4 years.
There's another wish. Yeah.
There's one more wish. There's one more amazing wish. So the devil comes back after 4 more years.
Yep.
And the devil's like, hey, you have to be ready now, right? This feels to me a bit like you've lent a friend money. And you just keep being like, cool. No, I totally get it. I totally get that. Like, you needed to buy XYZ before, and you needed that thing, and you wanted to get a tattoo, and like, oh, I totally, you should. Getting a puppy's great. And then it's been 20 years, and you're like, seriously, can I have that $50? Like, you gotta have $50 by now. You got here in a Tesla. I'm pretty sure you have $50.
I don't know. Have you seen those stock prices?
Zing! At Debut Buddies on Twitter.
We get kicked off. We're gonna get shadow banned.
That's right. Don't ban us in the shadows. Don't be a coward like the Smith. Ban us for real. I dare you.
3 podcasters got into a fist fight with Elon Musk.
Yeah. Over Zoom?
Well,
I don't even understand how that happens.
Okay.
So the Smith's like, hey, cool. We can totally go. I'm ready. No problem. But I gotta find out something. I gotta find out. You're the devil. You're super cool. I love you. I've always heard the devil could get like as small as he wants. The devil can get super tiny. Can you get as small as Dennis Quaid in Inner Space? Can you do it? Can we put you in Martin Short?
Yeah, I need you to Osmosis Jones me. Is this a thing? Are people like,
getting small?
man, that devil sure can get teeny tiny?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if the idea is the devil like gets in your ear and whispers bad things to you, that's the only like logical thing I could think of for why you would have that.
Okay,
thing.
That's
like,
the only logical thing.
I mean, I guess maybe the devil's.
Because I don't know if that's what I would say would be
getting your business.
Like in the boys.
Yeah. Getting in the wieners, causing some eggplant problems. Yeah. I don't know.
Please use the scientific term. Pee hole.
So the devil's like, well, yeah, no shit, bro. I can get as small as I want. Absolutely.
Watch this.
So the Smith's like, well, hey, look, if you can get really small, prove it by getting into this steel purse that I have. Bum, bum, bum. That's the steel purse from earlier that he wished that could be locked forever.
What a fucking dummy. Devil, don't do it.
How? So he had that steel purse for like a decade.
Yeah.
He was just like, I'm going to carry around the steel purse forever. Wouldn't it rust? I guess he's a smith. He could fix it.
Yeah, I guess he's just always linking a new chain on there. In between pretending to make one nail for the last 16 years. But yeah, the Smith's excuse is like, hey, cool. So if you can get small, like, could you go in there? I'm afraid that there are holes in this steel purse and only a really tiny person inside it could tell me. So could you go check? And the devil obliges.
Yep.
He gets real small, goes high pitched. Yeah, bro, it's fine in here. There's no holes. It's okay. Looks great.
He says it's right and tight everywhere.
He just likes being useful.
Aww.
It's true. Yeah, the devil does seem like the devil legit just doesn't get to hang out with anybody. It's like Grendel from Beowulf. The devil's just like misunderstood.
He's just lonely. That's why he's doing this errand. You know, like he's got underlings who can go fetch a dude and bring him to hell. But he's like, I need a field trip.
One begins to wonder if the whole Faustian bargain here is the devil's just like, hey man, you seem cool. Like, if I gave you super Smith powers for 7 years, would you like come be my roommate?
Could we hang out for eternity?
Yeah, could we be friends after that? And the guy was like, yeah, sure, man. And then he's just like, no, we can't be friends. I secretly hate you, the devil.
Oh, rude.
So the devil's in the purse. And of course, he can't get out of the purse because of the wish.
Yeah.
And so the Smith starts making up yet more incompetent excuses because even though he was proven actually incompetent by killing a horse and a woman, he's now like, I can't figure out how to like finish fixing this purse. So I can't let you out of there. I'm sorry. I gotta pound this while you're in there.
Yeah, he throws it into the flame.
Yeah.
And starts beating it. And the devil is like, hey, did you forget I'm in here?
Yeah. Hey. Again, lending to the idea that he just wants to be friends. He's like, hey, wait, did you know that you left me in the purse? And you left the oven on and you left me in the oven? Aww. And the Smith's like, yeah, I do know that you're in there. But one must strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah. This guy said it. Ugh.
And so he just starts smashing at the purse with a sledgehammer, which also not a good way to fix a purse, I'm just gonna say. And so the devil's just like getting beat up.
Yeah, poor devil.
Poor devil is getting beat up. And the devil just finally is like, hey, look. And the devil says, dear friend, do let me out, and I'll never come near you again. Dear friend.
Oh.
Heartbroken, this little guy. And the Smith's like, fine, okay, cool. I think that I've fixed it, so you can come out. And the devil just is like, the devil leaves. The devil's sad, heartbroken.
Yeah, I imagine his little tail is like between his legs, dragging in the dirt road.
Yeah, he's doing the Charlie Brown walk from Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Just shuffling away. And so so he's just like, hey, look, I'm never gonna bother you. I'm out of here, whatever. Then we find out that the Smith realizes maybe that because he was like a dick to the devil, that might have consequences.
Yeah,
like, oh no, maybe if the devil's my enemy, that's a bad thing. And
he also wasn't too nice to the Lord.
Yeah,
Peter.
He's kind of a jerk to everybody.
Yeah,
but no consequences again for killing a horse and burning an old lady alive.
This is before consequences.
There. Good point. Literally the only consequences are the Lord.
Hadn't invented them yet.
So the Smith decides that he's going to have to try to get into either heaven or hell. And he should try right away because he's getting old. He doesn't want to wait until he's dead. He needs to like sort this shit out, right? He's doing retirement planning.
And I do respect this mentality. Like, okay, we've got a problem. We need a solution. Let's face it head on. Like, let's get to the bottom of this today. No sense in putting it off. Like, I respect that. Gotta hand it to Smith to the Smith on this one. Sorry, he's called John in another story, which is why I almost called him John.
Oh my God, from Pocahontas?
He is not John Smith in the other story. He is John, the Smith. Yeah.
John, do you think they're related?
Smith. They must be.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that.
Well, fine. We have
I'm
a
gonna do
first
some
podcast
Googling.
disagreement.
Yeah, get in there.
Kelly, you are incorrect. They must be related.
Yeah, I mean, I typically try to yes but every so often a no but if you execute it right, it's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, no buts are the best.
You gotta use them. You gotta meter them out though.
Yeah, you don't want to appear disagreeable. You just want to be comedically disagreeable.
Exactly.
So the Smith decides he's getting into heaven or hell. He doesn't care which, but he's gotta be going somewhere. He doesn't want to be stuck on Earth forever, I guess, or in purgatory, which is unclear because he doesn't actually say. Anyway, he's hustling, and there's like a tailor on the road.
Yeah. First of all, we're walking. We're walking to
literally
get to
on the road to
and
hell.
Or hell.
Yeah. Taking Afterlife Boulevard.
And that's where we encounter this tailor. Yeah.
So he passes a tailor, and this tailor is carrying a goose in his hand, which is an interesting detail that doesn't seem relevant to anything else, but whatever. And the Smith's like, hey, where are you going? And the tailor says, oh, I'm going to heaven. If only I can get there. But where are you going yourself? And the Smith says, I don't think we're going the same way. I've made up my mind that I'm trying hell first because the devil and I know something of one another from old times. Like
the devil has a crush on me, so I figure I'm going to try that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ring that booty call just in case. Yeah, just in case it's still there.
Hey, girl, you up?
So then they just say goodbye to each other, and the Smith just keeps moving.
Oh, but that happened at a crossroads. So I was like, okay, so we've got a little bit of Robert Frost. We've got a little bit of like crossroads tie into deals with the devil.
Robert Johnson.
Like, for the rest of forever. Right. So like where that is here, that started here, I guess. The relationship at least. Or before. Yeah. Like crossroads are important here. So I thought that was neat. I was like, oh my God.
And what shape is a crossroads in?
This is well before Jesus, though. This is not crucifix.
But crosses are still have always been holy symbols, right? There's a reason why the Romans put Jesus on a crucifix because it was already an existing symbol of intersecting.
Oh, I thought it was just
things.
Like body shaped. Yeah, I thought it was just like this is a convenient shape.
So is this episode actually about the first crossroad?
Whoa.
An episode within an episode.
It's our first crossroads because we've had a fight this episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kelly took Chelsea's fun fact away.
That's
sorry.
true.
We're at a crossroads.
I've got
here.
a bunch more. Do you want me to send? I'll text them to you, and then you can say them.
No. I'll have fun facts added to those fun facts that are less fun, but your facts will fun fact all of them. That doesn't
fighting
make
over
any
whose
sense.
facts are going to be funner. Let's
More
just get back
fun.
to the story. What happened?
I love it. I love it. I want to see a fact fight later. We're gonna have a fun fact fight.
Oh,
Man,
yeah, so
that
they're
sounds really
Elon.
boring.
It's like a food fight, but with math.
Mm.
So the Smith gets to hell. He gets the gates of hell.
Yeah.
And he tells the watchman of the gates of hell to go get the devil and tell him that somebody wants to talk to him.
And the devil's like, who is it?
Yeah, and then the devil tells the watchman, go ask who it is. Like they're playing hardball. This goes back to the you up, and the devil's like, new number, who this?
Yeah.
So the watch comes back, tells him that the Smith answered, and the Smith is like, hey, go and greet the devil in my name. Say it's the Smith. I own this purse that I don't know what he wats off, so I don't really know what that is about, but look, please let me in. I worked at my forge, and then I've been walking all day. Like I'm wiped out. You got to let me into hell. Come on, buddy.
I also he says I was working at the forge until noon, and now I'm here. So it takes less than half a day to walk to hell.
Yeah, and he's like doing Saturday bank hours at the forge.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Doesn't seem like you're smithing very hard, bud.
Yeah, what was he doing?
Just trying to finish that nail.
Burning more
the
old
nail.
ladies.
Yeah.
So then the devil's like, no, I'm not playing with you anymore, and locks all 9 locks to the gates of hell. And then he says,
and it seemed frantic.
Yeah. Like someone with agoraphobia, like deadbolting and doing multiple locks on an apartment door in a movie.
Exactly. Yeah, it was like all hands on deck. If you see a lock, lock the lock.
So the devil sends him away. So the Smith's like, all right, well, I guess I can't go to hell, so I may as well try going to heaven.
Shoot your shot, man.
Yeah.
He goes up to the gate of heaven, and St. Peter's just like peeking through the peephole at the gate of heaven, just enough to let the tailor in. That tailor with a goose that he saw earlier.
I'm glad that goose is going to heaven.
Yeah.
Right?
Was the goose like an offering, like goose?
Oh my God. Do you think St. Peter is going to eat that goose? Is that canon?
Maybe St. Peter makes pillows.
No, I hate this. I'm on the devil's side still.
I mean, look, the devil is cool in this story and probably the nicest of all the characters.
Where's my Hail Satan banner? I meant to hang it up behind me.
So the Smith decides, like, hey, I gotta run. I gotta run if I'm gonna make it through the gates before the door closes. Throws his sledgehammer into the open door just as the tailor's going through. But then we get this like weird narrator intervention where it's like, and I don't know what happened to him. The end.
Yeah, so this is also our first cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
I do like how folksy the narrator is in that last sentence, because it's like, and well, if he didn't make it, then I sure don't know where he is today.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the Smith and the devil. The devil's only the only nice character in the whole story. Everybody else is just like pulling apart horses, killing ladies.
Yeah, what the hell?
Being prideful. And the devil's just like, I just want to collect on the thing we agreed
just being
to.
hassled left
and also maybe friendship?
Yeah.
Dark stuff. What do you think that means about us as people, as humans?
I don't know, but I read the study that they did to determine that this was the oldest fairy tale, and boy does it also pose some questions about what we are as people. Take it away, Chelsea, though. What were you going to talk about?
I watched a YouTube video about it. Had a nice tree with branches, but then it was like we figured out how old this was because the French had this and the German had this, and they did not trade. So they had to get it in the branch. You guys can't. This is not a visual.
She's
I'm
doing
making
a tree.
branches
She's
with
doing
my
a tree.
arms.
She's showing you the way that two arms might converge to create a trunk.
Yeah. And then the bottom of the trunk is the Indo-European. So
y'all are familiar with trees, right?
Yeah. I mean, unless you're listening to this in 2035 when there are no longer trees.
Oh boy, this fairy tale is going to make even less sense. They're going to be like, he got into a what?
What's an easy chair? I only sit in the death bike.
Oh my, I haven't been allowed to sit down in 1,000 years.
If only President Bezos would let me urinate again. The future's great. Okay, so this comes from a point when both German and French culture had this, but had no common trade or interaction, so it predated their formations.
Well, so that's what I wanted to talk about, is that it might not be that they didn't have trade or interactions. So this study used a phylogenetic approach to determining this, which is like a biology thing to determine common ancestors.
That sounds made up to me, Kelly. I don't know.
No, it is. All science is made up. Yeah. It's just a matter of if you can reproduce patterns.
Oh. The YouTube I watched was language. It was based on language.
No, this is based on language, but they took the approach is biological, and the algorithm is from biology, and they applied it to language.
I see what you're saying.
Which is so cool.
Yeah.
First of all, and also in the study, they were like, "Why don't we do this more often?" And I was like, "Why don't we do that more often?" So, yeah, because I guess there had been a bunch of debate in the community about like when these stories first started, and it was like there were two leading theories. Like it could have come from a root language at 8,000 years, or it could have come at 6,000 years. And in this study, they were like, okay, well, it had to have been the 6,000 years because like metallurgy didn't exist 8,000 years ago. So like it had to have been 6,000. It must have been the Bronze Age at the earliest. And yeah, their like study of language proved that out. But what was so interesting is they took geographical proximity into account. And so they studied vertical dissemination of stories, which would have been by language. So like your language descends through people with a common, like it's like lineage. Or breadth of dissemination, which would have been geographical proximity. And what they saw was that oftentimes geographical proximity, it wasn't just that stories didn't transmit geographically. It was that sometimes geographical proximity had like a negative effect. And so stories wouldn't transmit because communities were like, fuck them, they're the other. Fuck them. I don't want their stories. I don't want their stupid stories. So like that was crazy. We've been racist since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
Xenophobic, maybe not racist, just afraid of anything that's not
I
us.
was doing the bit.
This also made me think of Alvin Schwartz, right? And the idea of the folklore that travels from place to place. Like some stories make it to places regardless. And I wonder is this one of those that just overlaps enough different perspectives and cultures that it travels easily? Because everybody has somebody who's doing a smithing type job, and everybody has some sort of concept of a good deity and an evil deity. So it's inoffensive in a way. It's like how there's the British office and the American office.
Yeah, like cuts to the root of something. Yeah, I kind of got blue balls reading this study because that's where I that's where I wanted to go. I wanted to like get into like what made a story so compelling that it leaped over those boundaries. And like, to be clear, this wasn't like a hard and fast, like no stories were shared, which I think is what makes it so interesting. Like some stories were adopted, even like despite differences. And I really, really wanted to get into that. But like in the discussions section of the article, it was like, We specifically are like, that's outside the scope of this study. And I was like, well,
Oh.
show me where it is in scope. So
Mm.
I guess I'm gonna have to sift through more abstracts until I find it.
Better yet, let's write a grant and do it ourselves.
Oh my God. There was a lot of like programming in this. Like they were using like,
Yeah, you can do computers.
I don't want to.
I can
though,
probably
is
write the
thing.
grant. I don't know if I can be helpful otherwise.
Yeah, you do the grant. Chelsea, you're going to do PR.
Oh, that's terrible. I am the worst at PR. Why?
Well, I think you're the most palatable of the three of us.
Okay.
I'm too old. They're going to throw me in the fire.
And I'm too stupid.
What else was in the YouTube video, though?
No, it was just the tree. They just mostly talked about the tree.
It was really interesting the way that they figured that out. Right? Like, this is all crazy because these stories predate written language.
And the fact that they like are fuck you, we're not going to give you our stories.
Right.
They had the same stories.
Right.
Like, because we're all the same.
Like, it goes back far
What's the
enough.
song? There's a song.
We are the world.
The world. Is that it?
I don't know.
Yeah, we're just all the same.
We are. It's true. Because we're all having common experiences. We all fear the same things. Like, I guess everybody's afraid of not knowing where they're going when they die. Is that the moral? What is the moral of this?
I was
fairy
wondering
tale?
that.
Know. I'm also fascinated. Okay, so the text that we read, or that you just walked us through, was committed to the page in the early 1900s. So that has that's like a further evolution of this story, right? So it was committed to the page with all of the like thoughts and biases of that time period. And so I read a couple others, and it was very interesting to see how the plot differs, but these like keystone elements remained the same. So obviously there's always a smith and there's always a devil.
I love the version where neither are in it, though. That's kind of cool.
It's just the nail sitting there being played.
It's just a hipster bar that two people are opening. Dakota and Hunter open a gastropub named The Smith and the Devil.
There was and I tried to get my hands on the text of this, couldn't find it. There is a book from the late 70s titled Mr. Smith, or The Devil and Mr. Smith. Oh. And my understanding is that it is like a memoir of somebody who started off a Christian, became a Satanist, and then returned to Christianity. And so I really want to read that.
A roller coaster.
What the fuck? Yeah. And so when I saw that, I was like, got it. So this came out in like the 80s. This is like Satanic Panic era. But I think it was like 76. That predates the Satanic Panic, doesn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, because that would have been like, I think like 79 was earliest Satanic Panic.
That's what I thought. So yeah, I was surprised. So if anybody has their hands on that, I might email my local bookstore because they'll hunt things down that are out of print. But yeah, some of the other stories I read were there was another one that followed this reasonably closely. But it in it, the Smith, the like old woman who he wants to convert to a young woman, is done by the Lord. This old rich woman is coming down the road, and the Lord is like, I can make you a pretty young thing. And she's like, how much will that cost? And this was like a Russian version of the story. So he says 500 rubles. And I was like, I'd pay 500 rubles for that. Sure. Yeah.
To become a PYT? Absolutely.
Like, great. So he does it. And she goes back home to her old husband. And she's like young and hot. And her old husband is like, who are you? And she's like, what? You don't remember your wife? And he's like, what's happened? And she says, I don't want to be married to an old man. And I was like, oh shit, she about to like cut loose? She gonna go, like, she entering her slut era? Like, what's about to happen? And she says, no, it's so much sweeter than that. She's like, you pop on down to the Smith, tell him you want the pretty young thing special, he'll fix you right up. and then we can live happily ever after.
Aww.
And so he goes down to the smith. Actually, so the devil is like sneaking around in this story. There was originally a smith who worked in this forge, and he was a Satanist. And so he saw this like painting of the devil in, I think, the church, and he was like, that's sick as hell. So he commissioned somebody to paint it in his forge. And so every day when he went to work, he like high-fived the painting of the devil and then like went to work. And then he dies.
He also play metal all the time.
Yeah, he's just like headbanging and like it's very cool. And then he passes away and his son takes over the business, but his son is a fucking square, and he's like, oh dear Lord, please like bless me, Father, for I've sinned. So he's like, every day when he goes into the smithy, he takes his hammer and he like hammers the devil on the forehead, the painting of the devil. And all this goes on for years. And all this time, the devil is just like stewing in hell. He's like, he keeps bopping me on the head with that fucking hammer. And so he's like, I'll fucking show him. And so he shows up, dresses up like a little kid. So he shows up and is like, gee, sir, I'd love to be your apprentice. And so this new Christian smith is like, oh yeah, great, that sounds great. And so he like hires him. He is working there and he's like very proficient in the forge. And I want to be clear, I don't think that there was a deal in this one. Maybe I'm misremembering it. I think I am, because there were wishes. I don't know. I just remember the funny parts. So yeah, he's like this little apprentice. And so while Christian Smith is away for the day, that's when rich old lady comes down. The apprentice magics her into a pretty young woman. And then when her old husband comes to the forge, he encounters Christian Smith, and he's like, make me young. And he's like, the Smith is like, you want me to do what? And he's like, you did it for my wife. And he's like, I did no such thing. And he's like, I know you can do it. Do it. And so he like basically so we're playing like a game of telephone, right? Like his pretty young thing wife told him what happened to her. And so he tells the Smith what happened to his wife. And the Smith is like, yeah, I can probably do that. And in both stories, the way you do it is you like pop him into the flame and then quench him in the water. Okay. And then 3 minutes later, pretty young thing comes out. But that only works if you're the devil. It does not work when you're the Smith. So yeah, the old man dies.
Oh no.
Bummer.
Yeah. Yeah, bummer. And then I guess there's a confrontation.
Oh.
And yeah, St. Peter shows up again.
Oh, good.
I should have written down better plot notes, but while I was reading it, I was like, this story rules. I'm not going to forget any of it. But I clearly did. But yeah, there's the same situation. He definitely makes like wishes and uses them to like fool the devil. But now I can't remember the details. But then I read another iteration of the story, which is called, I think, Wicked John and the Devil. And
Wicked John.
Wicked John. It made me think of that.
Is this a Bostonian myth?
No. It is Appalachian. So yeah, it's very southern, it's very folksy, and this one deviated a lot from the story. So, or from the story that we've discussed so far. It's got like asshole Smith. He sucks. He's mean to everybody. And like the devil sends his kids one at a time first to come get him. And so we first get like a little devil. A little devil shows up. It's his youngest son. Aww. Little devil shows up. He's got like a little tail and little pitchfork.
Cute.
And he shows up and he's like, you've got to come to hell with me. And yeah, he fools him. He gets hoodwinked. And so he runs away back to hell. And then middle devil shows up. He's the middlest devil. So now we've got like Goldilocks. Yeah. So middle devil shows up. That does this is funny too. We've got we also have the easy chair in this one. Littlest devil gets got by a rocking chair. And this one was funny because it wasn't like you can't get out of the rocking chair. It was you get in the rocking chair and then it rocks and rocks and rocks and rocks and rocks.
So you just like are nauseated.
Wait, so the little
forever?
one was on the rocking
the
chair,
little
so
one
is
is
he
just
like
getting like bopped around. And the middle devil shows up, and he is like, he gets got by a hammer, and when you pick up the hammer, it hammers and hammers and hammers and hammers. So he gets like stuck in that. And then he goes back to hell, and then big devil shows up, big bad devil shows up,
Big Daddy Devil.
Yep. And John is like, sure, just give me a second. Why don't you sit in this rocking chair? And the devil's like, no, you're not gonna get me that way. And he's like, okay, well, I just got to finish up this task. It would really go faster if you'd help me out. Here's this hammer. And Big Devil is like, no, you're not going to get me that way. And then the third wish was like a thorn bush out front. If you touched the thorn bush, you would get sucked into the middle and you wouldn't be able to leave until John said you could leave. So the poor devil gets got because he gets into like a fist fight with John, and so they're like scrapping, they're rolling around on the floor, and they tumble out of the smithy and like tumble into the thorn bush. And so John is able to like jump out straight away, and then the devil is stuck inside the thorn bush. And yeah, like same situation. Eventually he's like, dude, let me go home. And John is like, okay, see ya. And then same situation in this one. He tries to get into hell, and they're like batten down the hatches, like, no, we're not letting you in. And then he tries to get into heaven, and St. Peter is like, so I've got the book here where we wrote down all the bad stuff and all the good stuff. And I gotta tell you, there's only like 2 or 3 good things on here, and there's a lot more bad. No, you can't get in here. And so then he's like, well, where do I go? Like, what do I do? And St. Peter is like, okay, I've got an idea. And he gets him a pumpkin, and he scoops out all the innards and puts a light in the pumpkin.
What?
And hands it to him. And he's now he's just like wandering the earth with his like little jack-o'-lantern. And then the story ended with like, and so sometimes around these parts late at night, you can see like lights in the distance, like through the fog, through the mist. And some people say that it's like swamp gas or whatever. But we know that it's Wicked John. And I was like, ghost lights. We explained ghost lights in this one. This is so fun.
Wicked John, who is too clever for his own good. Like,
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. So what is the moral of the one? Like, what is the moral of this story in any of these cases? Like, just don't
trick
get
the devil
involved.
so you can get into hell. Because at the end he always wants to go to hell, and it's I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just don't mess with the supernatural because you're gonna get beat either way. Like, is that what it is?
So yeah,
just keep your head down and smith like normal instead of trying to be special.
Yeah. Keep your nose to the grindstone. Is that this? Yeah, I don't know.
I was gonna say, if this was something that like, because I haven't heard any type of story like this until we read it, and I was like, well, if I had read this when I was younger, I would not have been afraid of the devil. I probably would have been like, this guy is pretty chill.
Yeah, the devil seems hapless, and so it's like, well, why would I be afraid of somebody who's like just trying to like, I mean, basically he holds you to be honest about the stuff you agree to, and that's it, which sounds like everyone else ever.
Well, that's sort of another thing. The devil, like capital T, capital D, didn't become like one individual that we're all scared of, leader of hell, until like the 70s. Like, that was late in the game. And so prior to that, devil was just like a little gremlin type dude.
Just a general like trickster type.
He's a scamp.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a scamp. Little rapscallion.
Yeah.
Which is how he's portrayed in these stories.
He's adorable in every one of
He
them.
really is. He's so adorable.
Yeah.
Speaking of rapscallions, do you want to play a game that a rapscallion, make you play?
Sure do.
Yeah, of course.
How did that feel? Enthusiasm?
Yeah, that was almost authentic. Let's play I See What You Did There.
Better find a pen.
We're going to try you were going to be working together the whole time, okay?
Oh, thank God.
You don't have to compete anymore. We'll do sometime we can go back to competing, but let's just do this.
This is co-op,
we need
man.
to train first.
Let's just play for fun. So number 1.
For fun.
For fun.
These are all fairy tale related.
Okay.
Put a matriarch waterfowl fairy tale figure together with the call signs of partner pilots played by Anthony Edwards and Tom Cruise in the original Top Gun.
Mother Goose. And then I don't know.
I can't remember Tom Cruise's call sign.
Wait, hold on. Maverick?
Oh, was it Maverick?
Was it Maverick?
Yeah, it's Maverick. It's Maverick.
Guess what?
Mother Goose and Maverick. You see what I did there?
Yay!
Great job. That was very quick. Look at how fast we are.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Goose.
Right? That canopy didn't get clear.
I only watched that movie for the first time, despite my love of Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
I only watched that movie for the first time, like during the pandemic. Did not know that that's what happens.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I you know that meme about how dads stand up near the TV, like they stand too close to the TV?
Yeah.
That was me. I screamed and leapt off the couch and got up close to the TV, and I was like, no. No.
And why? Because Anthony Edwards is the most compellingly nice character in the whole movie.
Oh God, and I love a mustache.
Yeah. Mustache, buzz cut. He's taller than everybody by a foot.
Yeah.
Who knew Anthony Edwards was
average height? Tom Cruise is tiny.
yeah, true. Well, you got to be little to fit in those planes, you know?
That's true. And in Hollywood. How do we get you on the screen?
Number 2, this fairy tale deal maker will give you alchemical abilities in exchange for your firstborn progeny. But at least he's not one of these harmful, shape-shifting witches from Navajo folk culture.
Oh, I mean, it's Rumpelstiltskin and Rumpelstiltskindigo? No.
Okay.
Shape-shifting.
Shape-shifting. I got the wrong creature. Skinwalker. Got it.
Put it together.
Rumpelstiltskinwalker.
You got it. You see what I did there?
It.
Rumpelstiltskinwalker.
How familiar are y'all with Skinwalker Ranch?
I know of it.
Only a little bit.
Yeah. Or should we go?
Are we going to go
do
watch
a live
YouTube
podcast?
videos? Or?
No, we probably shouldn't go. But yeah, maybe this is a podcast episode.
I mean, maybe we could go for the last episode.
Oh!
Yeah. First group death by Skinwalker. Number 3. Many beauty products are labeled as free of this bactericidal and fungicidal compound that won't help you if you jump out of an airplane. So combine it with the Thing from the Fantastic Four's real name. Hint, his real name makes him sound like he's part of a fairy tale fraternity.
Dwarf? Am I
Think
close?
about a fraternal pair of people who deal in fairy tales.
I was going for
Brother?
the 7
Wait.
dwarves. I was like, frat. I guess the dwarves.
Chelsea started saying the B word.
Brothers?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
the grim ones?
Yeah, there you go. That's
What was-
part of
Wait,
the
now we
Thing's
need to
name.
Say the
Chemical?
first part again. Yeah.
Bactericidal and fungicidal.
Many beauty products are labeled as free of this bactericidal and fungicidal compound that won't help you if you jump out of an airplane.
Oh, is this parabens?
Paraben?
Put them together.
Wait.
I'm trying.
What? How do we put that together? Nope.
What are the last three letters?
Peregrine. No.
What are the last three letters of paraben?
B-E-N?
What is B-E-N as a man's name?
I mean, it's Ben.
Ben?
Great. Put them together.
Wait, is that one of the Grimm brothers? Wait, are we talking about Brothers Grimm? What happened?
We're talking about the Fantastic Four. The thing from the Fantastic Four. The character's name.
Okay.
Is Ben?
Is Ben?
And his last name is?
Oh, it's Grimm.
Okay, so put it all together.
Paraben Grimm.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, okay, perfect.
I mean, I guess.
It took us a long time.
Paraben Grimm. Paraben Grimm.
Oh, God. All I could think was Wilhelm Grimm.
Okay, number 4. This is it. This is the last one. Baloo and Kit Cloudkicker fly the Sea Duck all around Cape Suzette in this Disney afternoon tune. Now hook it up with Salt and Peppa's DJ, who never left a glass turntable behind after a ball.
Cinderella.
This is DuckTales?
It's not.
It's not.
But it was on after DuckTales. Or before it, depending on your local TV lineup.
Yeah, what was the Central Time Zone lineup? I don't know. I don't think I know either of these. Okay.
It's something Spintail. Wait, no.
Nate perked
Duck
up.
Wing Spin. No, that's not. That's a duck. Why because you said duck and now I have ducks.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
You said spin. Spin is in it. You also have said tail. Tail is also in it.
Okay, so is it Tailspin? Because it's certainly not Spin.
Tail Spinderella.
Tail Spinderella. Oh. You see what I did there.
Nice.
Well done.
Chelsea.
Well done. Well done.
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
Work.
Yeah.
Once again, making the dream work.
Should we do?
Yeah, sure.
That's what I say at work when things are going really poorly.
Shall we do a Mouthgarf report?
Do it!
The Mouthgarf Report. Open wide.
Mouthgarf report. I have not received. This is kind of an inside bit of information, but podcast listeners, I am part of a Garfield shit posting group on Facebook, and since this is the
Mouthgarf, all the Garfield memes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just assumed that you were like every morning waking
actively
up,
seeking
Googling
them out.
Garfield memes.
What's new with Garfield?
Or maybe you have a Google alert set up.
The thing here's the thing that's funny. Before we started doing this, I was just looking them up until about I don't know, a month ago, and then I found the group and I was like, oh, I should just join the group. This will make my job infinitely easier.
Nate, I'm gonna be honest with you. You're not great at Googling if it took you that long to find the group.
Well, I mean, I wasn't looking for a group. I was just looking for memes, right? I was Googling memes.
Yeah, what's going on in this?
I'm a good Googler. I take
memes.
offense.
Yeah, you should.
I do.
I'll send you some
Crossroads. But yeah, I have not received an answer from them regarding. So on the group I was in, someone found a Garfield phone at a flea market, and I asked if it was one of the ones from the shipping containers set adrift off the coast of France. No one has responded to my comment yet. I'm going to assume that's because they all know it is, and there's a conspiracy to cover up the truth.
Or maybe they're doing like a deep dive.
Oh,
right. Like maybe they're going.
Pun intended.
Not intended. Good guess though. They're doing like a Dan Brown on this Garfield phone.
Nice.
They're gonna
this Garfield phone is connected to the Pope, which is connected to the Vatican, which is connected to Jesus. to the
Yeah.
Jesus.
To Wicked John. Yeah, they're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. Audrey Tautou is just that old lady that got
We're gonna
youngified, that got PYT'd.
Mm.
And otherwise, my teeth are good. How's everybody else?
I have no updates. I still have my kit that I have not done. Still using an old thing.
We're going to have to do a
not
whole
exciting.
episode just about you doing the kit.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
really need to do it because my other one is like really thick and it is starting to wear, which means I
Oh.
probably am eating microplastics pretty hard every night.
Oh,
First
yeah.
recorded mouth guard molding.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
going to sound
that's the
very similar
episode.
to what I sound like anyway, so it's fine. Just mispronouncing names pretty consistently.
I don't feel like you've mispronounced anybody's name tonight.
Yeah, because I haven't said any names.
You said Spinderella.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
Not
could
a
have
real
said
name.
Spinderella. That would have been weird.
Oh, I could have.
Ew.
Next time.
Whoa, that's an idea. That's something.
She's a girl who was born without a spine, and then a fairy godmother gave her one for
Or
one
maybe with
night.
Too
Aw.
many spines.
Oh.
Oh no!
I'd watch that.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
the
in.
Brothers Grimm Lovecraft mashup we've all been waiting for.
Blumhouse, where are you at? We will sell you the film rights right now. $10,000.
Right now.
10,000. No, higher. Come on.
$50,000
Okay.
Each.
Okay. We're getting there. Oh, each.
plus
Okay.
plus 5% each on the back end.
You got to write that in. You got to
Yeah.
write that in.
Oh yeah.
Not just for the movie, but for merch.
Oh yeah. We're making
Oh.
merch. We're making
No,
the
can we keep the
action
merch
figure
rights?
with all the spines. Oh
Yeah,
man.
let's keep the merch
Oh,
rights.
yeah, that's even better. Yeah,
Yeah, we keep
merch
the
rights
merch
all
rights.
us.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to be the George Lucas of this franchise, of
Yeah.
the Spine franchise.
Yeah.
Cashing in those spine checks.
So in the article, in the study, they mentioned Star Wars. They talked about Star Wars. They were like, Star Wars
No.
is just a fairy tale. That's all it is. It's just a fairy tale. People bitch about how they like reuse the stories from movie to movie, but that's what fairy tales are. So
It's totes like
it was a
Merlin and
really
stuff.
interesting
Yeah.
study, and it was like reasonably approachable if you just scan over all of the italicized words, because you don't need to understand distributions to understand the like point of the study.
Yeah, you dummies.
My teeth are fine. One of them hurts, and I'm a little bit worried about that.
Oh no. Should we
We'll
pull it
figure it
out?
out.
Should we pull it out on the show?
They do. That's what they're going to say. I'm going to go in and I'm going to be like, this tooth hurts. And they're going to be like, yeah, it's because it's close to your wisdom tooth and we need to take that out. And I'm going to be like, over my dead body.
Why don't you use the water pick?
Oh,
Clean it out. See if it'll help.
The water pick that you still haven't sent to me, despite saying you would last episode.
No, I mailed it. Did you not get the tracking?
No, but I did receive your request for money to get yourself out of a prison in South America, and I sent you $20,000.
Thanks.
I'm glad you're safe. I mean, you're here, so it must have worked out.
Yeah, I had to get back for the podcast.
And Chelsea, before we started recording, you had mentioned you are getting a PlayStation 5
I
soon.
am. I am so excited.
Yay!
Finally.
You guys gonna co-op some Garf games?
Hell yeah!
Can we do that? Is
Garf
that a
cart?
thing?
If
know.
you get at least if you get the Nickelodeon Brawl thing, I'm sure we can play online together. We
I
can set
have
up
that on
fun
Switch.
sessions. Is it cross platform? We'll have to
Probably
find
not.
out. We'll
Yeah,
have to
I'll have
find
to
out
figure it
off.
out.
We could
Yeah.
live stream your first head-to-head rumble.
First-
What do they call it?
Yeah.
Race? What do they call it? Cart?
It'll be a fight. I mean, if we
Oh,
Garf
are we-
card, it'll be a race. If we fight, it'll be a brawl or a battle
Mhm.
or a
Okay, maybe we can
duel.
get that on pay-per-view like they do with the boxing.
We could do a podcast about our first Twitch of us playing video games.
Oh my
that a
god.
thing?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that navel gazing enough to be interesting?
Listeners, right in.
Yeah. Don't worry, listeners. We're recording so far in advance, it won't matter what you think.
Oh, that's true.
No, we might actually listen to them. We have been for the most part.
Yeah.
That was the Mouthgarf Report.
The Mouthgarf Report. Open wide.
So, what do we think, Debs? What do we think, Debs, on this first fairy tale?
I would say 3 Debs, but I wanted to say 4 after hearing about Wicked John.
Wicked John is much
I liked
more
Wicked
fun.
John.
And I'm going to send you guys, I didn't read that one. I found a storyteller performing it on YouTube, and she fucking knocks it out of the park. She's so into it. She's so funny. You guys are going to love it.
Awesome.
I'll send you both the link. So fun. And it's only like 10 minutes. It's a very worthwhile watch.
Right on. I'm in. Kelly, how many days?
Well, the story itself, not great. But the study that brought us to covering this was very interesting. And I think that I don't know, I am coming out of this with like a lot of curiosity to look further into like language and how it has evolved, and specifically how stories have leapt between cultures, and like what made it overcome all of that isolationism. So I don't know, story itself, I'm agree 3, but like all of this 5. I am so interested. I'm so compelled.
So an average of a 4. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of think 4 too. I mean, the story is super weird, but it also feels, I mean, even the one that we specifically talked about initially feels Looney Tunes level. Like there's it's so cartoonish that I understand why it has passed on, because I would hope that everybody's laughing at this the whole time. Like nobody's really taking this seriously, because it's a fucking joke, and there's no and the end is just like, and if he didn't make it into those gates of heaven, well, I don't know what happened to him.
I do like lazy dismount. And then and then we were finished telling the story.
It is like all of those Alvin Schwartz, where at the end of this interesting thing, you just jump up and yell at somebody. It's like, nope, I don't have an ending. Also, I mean, I'm going to take a point off. I'm giving it a 4, mainly because no fairies.
No fairies.
It's a fairy tale. There's no fairies. And that's disappointing. We need some sort of other mischief. I mean, I guess the devil is kind of a fairy. He's a pixie. He's a sprite. He's a, little troublemaker.
Yeah, we'll have to get into like the taxonomy of fairies to figure this one out.
Maybe the Smith was a fairy all along. How we got to hell and heaven.
That's why he's so mischievous. Oh my god.
It's true. It's true.
We have to reread it.
He's raising heck.
We've uncovered a new layer.
But yeah, I think it's like incredibly interesting where this traces back to and what it means about us as humans, right? That all of these, like, I'm sure there are shared iterations of this across multiple different cultures that we didn't even address tonight on this episode. And that would be my call to action for the listeners. If you know of something that's like from Japan or China or an African nation, or I don't know, South America, Spain, something like that, like, let us know. I'm interested to hear what other iterations of this are, how they differ, because it's fascinating that we're so close, yet so far, yet so close all the time. Right. And then for some reason, we're still like, I'm afraid of them because they're slightly farther away from me than I normally am.
Stupid. For the home listener, Chelsea and I are just like looking disappointed in humanity. We weren't just like not responding to Nate's point.
No, they were also looking disappointed at me, which is usually what happens. I just edit it out on a normal episode. But you know what isn't disappointing? Subscribing, rating, and reviewing this podcast.
Yeah.
You can do that at Apple Podcasts. And if you just do it, it takes you like a couple minutes. And like if a lot of people do it, guess what? We might actually become, notable.
Yeah.
And then other people will listen to us.
And then we can fight Elon Musk in the street.
And we can fight him in the street. And that's really the whole reason we started this thing. First billionaire fist fight coming soon. But yeah, subscribe and review us. If you want to talk to us, reach out. We are at Debut Buddies on Twitter. You can hit us there. You can also email us, debutbuddies@gmail.com, or follow us at Debut Buddies on TikTok. If you want to see some fun videos of things. There's definitely pie videos up there. There will probably be more videos up there.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. Email us to tell Chelsea to say, hey, Chelsea, I love you. Please post to the TikTok. And she'll do it. She just wants to know you care.
I'll see what I can do. Yeah, if anybody could go like any of those TikToks, that'd be great.
Yeah. Get active. Interact with our social media content so that we feel like doing more of it. We can only do this for 2 hours every couple of weeks into the void without any sort of interaction. But the other stuff. If you like our theme music, check out Michael J. O'Connor, michaeljoconnor.bandcamp.com. And if you like science fiction books, including the one I recently wrote that came out last year called One Person Can't Make a Difference, go to Spaceboy Books at readspaceboy.com.
I know I'm supposed to do plugs, but just like one more thought. Okay, so you mentioned sci-fi, and that made me think of this story focusing on a smith during the Metal Age. That's so interesting. That's all, or during the Bronze Age. That's so that's almost sci-fi. Like this new technology has been invented, and so now we have to write a story about it and how it can like impact people. I told you I'm very curious, and you can find me in Chelsea. Oh yeah, go.
Yeah. Sorry. I mean, because you just made me have a thought, which is like, oh yeah, well, if this is a new technology, then the Smith is effectively like the first mad scientist.
Yeah.
Because he's fucking around with stuff he shouldn't. He's playing God literally because God shows up and he's like, I can do what you're doing.
Oh my God. We're finally getting to it. Okay.
We're going to have another episode.
Yeah.
Every episode gets good at about 1 hour and 45 minutes.
First two-parter. Okay. If you are interested in horror movies, you can find me and Chelsea over on our other podcast, which is called Never Show the Monster. Nate has guested over there. It's super fun. I don't know what series we're doing at the time of this release, but we're always doing some sort of weird theme over there. We may still just be doing our Kevin Bacon theme, which is how we started 2023. So come check that out. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bring home the bacon.
Oh.
Never Show the Monster. So yeah, that was the first fairy tale. On our next episode, we're going to talk about the first Super Bowl. That would be Super Bowl I that occurred in 1967. Will people who don't really care about football enjoy this? You're going to find out. And so we're waiting.
It's going to be.
That's me.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's going to, if you don't like football, you can just join us because you're going to have some people that can talk about how they don't know anything about football.
Yeah, I've already got some thoughts. I've got some ideas. We'll talk about it.
It's going to be good. It's going to be creative. We're going to have fun.
I'm not going to watch the game, so come find out.
It's going to be great. You can Google who won, though, because at least it's been long decided.
No spoiler.
Yeah, I was going to say, I want to be surprised.
All right. That was Debut Buddies. Goodbye, buddies.
Bye.
Bye, buddy.
First is best, or first is worst. Either way, let's dive in head first. Give us reasons to converse. Debut buddies, debut buddies.
So I was reading about the Brothers Grimm and how when they were collecting their folk tales to put into their collection of fairy tales, they hypothesized that many of these stories went back like way further than we thought at the time. Like it was collectively agreed upon that these like folk tales that they were collecting started when they were written down, but they were collecting these stories across different cultures and saw the patterns. And so they were like, no, they must go back like way further. They must have some sort of shared route further back. And it's just super cool that like we've been able to prove that out now that we can study that in more depth.
It's fascinating.
It's fascinating. It's so cool.
Hopefully it leads to more studying around it.
I know.
We get more of it.
That study was 2016. So surely we've got some more after that. I'm gonna have to do some digging.